Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's Mr. Controversy, and welcome back to another episode of Coffee Shop Chatter. So, got some more information on this Tim Walz. It's the truth this time. So, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you the documents that you receive when you leave the military. This mine is gonna be an active duty. It's redacted, just like his was redacted. I redacted things because there's information that you don't need to know. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull it up. I'm gonna walk you through a DD-214, and I'm gonna show you the information that's on there. That also will tells you what rank you left the military as. Also, the amount of time that you actually served. But no one is calling in question to the amount of time that he served. What's being called in question is his rank and him saying he was a command sergeant major. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump on over to it. So if you look at it, see if I can zoom in a little bit more. So you look up top, right here. You have your name, your social, whatever your branch was. So I was enlisted first. Did field artillery. I was a sergeant first class. I went to OCS, which means that I went to Fort Benning, Georgia. Went to officer candidate school. Got commissioned as a lieutenant. Once I did that, I became a 13 Alpha, which is a field artillery officer. Same thing that he was doing. Except for him, he was a 13 Bravo. Depending on, he was a 13 Bravo, whether he was a light or heavy. Difference is just whether you towed or you trapped. That's the only difference. One could shoot further than the other. Plain and simple. So on here it shows I retired as a major. If you look over here, it has my, let's see, so it has my net active service period. So that 13 years, 8 months, and 8 days is the amount of time I spent in the Army active duty. This is all active duty. That's the time I spent as an officer. If you look below it, it has total prior service, total prior active service. 14 years, 9 months, 29 days, which gave me a total of 28 years, 6 months, and 7 days, if you do the darn math. So that's the amount of time I spent in the military. My primary specialty, which you will have, because my last branch from me leaving out the Army was a 17 Bravo, 17 Alpha, which is cyber electron warfare, and then also I did time as a cyber officer. So what it is, they would do it in the order in which I was transitioned through my career on the officer side. Because once you go to OCS, pretty much it's like you ETS out the Army. So they give you documents saying, so I have a DD-214 on my enlisted side, and then I have a DD-214 for my officer side, but my DD-214 for my officer side captures my entire career. So when you see it says 17 Bravo Cyber Electron Warfare Officer, that shows the amount of months I did. Then you had 17 Alpha Cyber Operations Officer, then they give you a breakdown for that. So then when you see 13 Alpha Field Artillery, that's my time being a field artillery officer. So now I'm gonna jump back off of this because it's really the only thing that's on there. It has whether our military education. So had he completed the Sergeant Major Academy, like we've been saying, because the big discrepancy is him saying he's a Command Sergeant Major and he's not a Command Sergeant Major. He was in the position as a Command Sergeant Major, but he is not a Command Sergeant Major. He is a retired Master Sergeant. He was put in the slot as a Command Sergeant Major because some people can't seem to grasp this. So I'm gonna kind of Barneyfy it for you and kind of put in the speaks of someone like I'm talking to, maybe like a 3 or 4 year old, for those who just don't want to get it or they don't want to get it. So the position was open. They needed a command sergeant major. He was a master sergeant. He came out on the list to go to the sergeant major academy. In order for you to become a command sergeant major, you must complete the sergeant major academy, which means you have to graduate. For the National Guard, it's 2 years for them because they only train once, 1 weekend out of the month, and 1 weekend a month, 1 week or 2 weeks out of the entire year. So in the summertime, they only do a week or 2 weeks of training straight. Other than that, 1 weekend every month, they come in. Hence is why we call them weekend warriors. That's what we call them on the active duty side. You get upset, say, oh, y'all the same. No, we're not. We're not. Okay? You can look at the height and weight requirements. We're not same. So, had he completed the school, once you graduate, you're promoted to the rank of sergeant major. But because he was already in that position, only thing he still would have been wearing a soft rank as a command sergeant major because he would still have to wait for that promotion order to come down. Our promotions to the next rank come from the Secretary of the Army once you become a senior non-commissioned officer and once you start going through your field grade. Well, officers different from lieutenant, second lieutenant, first lieutenant, captain, major. All our stuff we get actual orders for that because there's captain is somewhat automatic. Major, which is your field grades. That's when your field grade time starts. Your generals, because somebody mentioned something about the generals. Once you become a GO, which is a general officer from 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, 4-star, it's totally different the way their promotions work. You can be a 1-star for 1 year. A position opens up, and because it's on your track, you can get selected to become that. You will be that 2-star. Once you sit there, if you're there for a year or two, because normally they're there for 2 years, and another position opens up, that's a 3-star, or if another 2-star position opens up, you will lateral transfer, you would go over to that 2-star position. You would never go back a star unless you get in some damn trouble. That's when you start losing star. You will lose a star, and that means there's like court martials, all kinds of stuff that's going on. So you get the 2-star, a position opens up, that's a 3-star. You get selected for that position. Now you're a 3-star. So when you retire, you will retire at the last star that you held. Officer world is totally different than the enlisted world. Enlisted side, you can be frocked, and that's what I said. So what I was saying is you can be frocked, and you just wearing that rank temporarily. That's it. It's not a permanent fixture for you. It's you temporarily wearing it. But in his case, because he was a master sergeant that was selected to go to the Sergeant Major Academy, they was able to pretty much still frock him so he can wear the rank. When you get frocked, it's a 4187 and all the it's an action report. If I had one, I would did, because even for us when we get Larry promoted from specialist to corporal, because they both E4 same thing. So when I got Larry promoted to corporal because I was promotable to make E5, that's what they gave. They use because there's no promotion orders for that. So he was wearing a soft command sergeant major rank, and the reason I said soft is because they can take it from you, because it's just temporary. A hard one is you were selected by the Secretary of the Army, and in your promotion orders, it would say that you was by the order of the Secretary of the Army, blah, 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 and it has this whole little spillage. So had Tim Walz graduated from the Sergeant Major Academy, he would have graduated at the rank of Sergeant Major. Once he would have gotten back to his unit, he would have put his command sergeant major rank on. But then when his actual promotion orders would have came down from to get promoted, what they do is they have you take the rank off and then repin you. Had that transpired and he retired, then he would have been a command sergeant major retiree. But he didn't do that. He dropped out. So, all you people that want to sit here and argue and think you know what you're talking about, yeah, like I'm gonna just tell you what we normally call you. We call you folks mouth breathers, fucking oxygen thieves, because you don't know what you're talking about. So, like I said, had he stayed in, he'd been perfect. He had no problems. So, if you made it this far, whether or not you didn't, that's up to you. So now I'm gonna go ahead and place Megan Kelly because she's gonna wrap up the entire thing. And the person who got tagged to take his position, who was an actual command sergeant major because he did everything, he fulfilled all the requirements to wear the rank. He graduated from the academy. He got his promotion also from Secretary of the Army. He was promoted as a hard command sergeant major, and he replaced Tim Walz. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump on over to this video, and if you want to watch it, you can watch it. If you don't, you ain't gonna have to.
What is the truth about Minnesota Governor and now Democratic Vice Presidential pick Tim Walz and his military service record? Questions have been swirling, including allegations that Mr. Walz abandoned his fellow troops in their greatest time of need, even claims of stolen valor. Yesterday on this program, I spoke with a Minnesota National Guard veteran who has been sounding the alarm on this story for years. Tom Behrens, who took over the post, Tim Walz left when he retired just as his unit, the unit under his command, was deploying to Iraq, was on this program yesterday. And Tom made some stunning allegations. For what it's worth, the Harris-Walz campaign and the complicit media would have you believe this entire controversy is just a bunch of nonsense. But today we're going to bring you the receipts. Here's what we know. Days after the September 11th, 2001 attack on our nation, Mr. Walz re-enlisted in the National Guard for a 6-year commitment. He would later claim it was only 4. Alpha News, there in Minnesota, they've obtained the paperwork. It was 6. So I don't know why he's misleading about that, but he signed up to stay in until 2007. 2007, not 2005. In late 2003, he deployed with his unit to Italy in support of Operation Enduring Freedom. Operation Enduring Freedom is also known as the war in Afghanistan. He never went to Afghanistan. He never saw active combat, nor was he part of Enduring Freedom. Again, that name is used for the war in Afghanistan. He was in a support role in Italy. In the military, these words matter. In February of 2005, okay, we're flash forwarding now 2 years from the Italy service, he filed paperwork with the Federal Election Commission to run for Congress. 1 month later, in March, his own campaign acknowledged before he retired from the National Guard, he was still in the National Guard, that he knew he might be getting deployed to Iraq. They put out a press release titled, quote, Walz still planning to run for Congress despite possible call to duty in Iraq. And indeed, this is something that is done. Sometimes active duty National Guardsmen also running for office. At that time, he said, quote, as Command Sergeant Major, I have a responsibility not only to ready my battalion for Iraq, but also to serve if called on. That's him, months before he retired. After he'd already said, I'm thinking about running for Congress. I'm dedicated to serving my country to the best of my ability, whether that's in Washington, D.C. or in Iraq. 2 months later, in May of 2005, Mr. Walz, the same one who 6 weeks earlier said, quote, I have a responsibility to serve if called on, retired from the National Guard, effectively telling those who served under him, good luck in Iraq. I won't be there. This was years before his commitment was due to end. Now the media points to the fact that his unit did not receive the official alert orders to deploy to Iraq until July 2005, 2 months after Walz officially retired. But that doesn't change the fact that he clearly knew that a deployment was a possibility at the time he decided to bail. Nor does it change the fact that Walz retired early. Those are facts that are not in dispute. He retired early, even by his own measure, where he's claiming he was allowed to retire at some point in 2005. It's fine. They do retire early sometimes. It's not totally unusual for someone in the service to retire early once they've, surpassed the time that they committed to. But this was a re-up, the 6 years, but not on the eve of being deployed with all of the men under you who you're responsible for the first time to the theater of war. That's what makes this controversial. There's no question he did that. His own letter acknowledging he knew he was likely to get a deployment notice to Iraq months before he retired shows you he retired, left his unit, knowing he was abandoning those men. That is a fact that our guest, Tom Behrens, yesterday took real issue with.
Everybody was in shock because senior NCOs don't do that. I mean, that you basically train for years and years. You're with your soldiers. Your soldiers are literally like your kids almost. I mean, you've watched them grow up. You've helped them shoot guns and learn how to do the radio stuff and, fix wounds if you can and different things. And then all of a sudden when it's time to go do your thing with that, you quit. I mean, that just absolutely it was just disgusting.
His former unit would eventually deploy for 22 months at the height of some of the worst violence Iraq has ever seen. And at least 3 members of that unit were killed. And where was Tim Walz? He was sitting in D.C. in Congress. The campaign will say Walz did his part, serving for 24 years in uniform, and was a tireless advocate for our men and women in uniform as a congressman. Fair enough. The record will bear that out, or it won't. We'll, I'm sure, have somebody digging into all those claims, but he certainly served the nation for 24 years as a National Guardsman. But Mr. Walz also appears to have misled, or at least did not correct, mistakes about his military record repeatedly. A newspaper article about his run for Congress falsely claimed he served in Iraq. This is when he was first running. He did not serve in Iraq. Again, he served in Italy. Did he call them up and try to correct that? There's no correction on it. Back in 2004, Walz was photographed at a protest carrying a sign reading "Enduring Freedom Veterans for Kerry." Again, that insinuates he served in Afghanistan as part of Enduring Freedom. He did not. He was in a supportive role in Italy. And again, in the military, just ask military vets, these words matter. A veteran named David Thule confronted Mr. Walz's aides in his congressional office about that representation, that sign suggesting he had served in Operation Enduring Freedom. Back in 2009, the guy went into the campaign offices and sat down with Mr. Walz's staff, and Mr. Thule filmed the encounter. Here's part of that exchange.
We're here on a veteran-related issue. I don't know if you are familiar with this picture at all. This was taken in 2004 here in Mankato, and it's actually been posted on the internet for quite some time, and nobody quite realized what it is. But in this picture, Congressman Walz here is holding a sign that says "Enduring Freedom Veterans for Kerry." So tell me what your understanding of his military background is.
Yeah, I understand that he was called up in support of it, obviously, in support of that operation. That's how I've always understood it. And so the time that he, when he got called up, I guess I've always referred to it as, he was called up and served in support of Operation Enduring Freedom.
Okay, so is there any question in your mind what Enduring Freedom is?
No.
Okay, so I guess most people, and you yourself included, would associate Enduring Freedom with Afghanistan, right?
Right, but okay. I mean, I think it, as I also understand that it encompasses a great deal in there.
Well, Operation Enduring Freedom is limited to Afghanistan and the airspace directly above. There's other units that are called up in support of it. I'm sure that's probably what his military orders said.
Right.
My concern, other than this picture, is that the congressman's website, his official biography, says simply that he was mobilized with his battalion in support of Operation Enduring Freedom, without any other details. Don't you think it's reasonable? People might assume that means he served in Afghanistan.
Perhaps, I guess.
Are you aware of any of the media reports from 2006 that inaccurately cited the congressman as a war veteran?
Specifically, I can't think of any right now, but I don't. I would imagine that I know people have approached me as a staffer and thought that, and so I've corrected them. If you serve in support of an operation, you're not necessarily a veteran of that operation. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
So your question is more about this picture than his biography.
I have two questions.
Yeah.
The biography is one of them. That's bad. That's misleading. That's a little bad. This right here, under current U.S. law, this could get the congressman probably thrown in jail in violation of the 2006 Stolen Valor Act, which says it is a crime, a federal crime, to portray yourself in writing or verbally as having received an award or decoration authorized by Congress that you didn't receive. Congressman Walz is clearly claiming in this sign, in this picture with this sign, to be an Enduring Freedom veteran. He is clearly, nobody disputes the fact that he is not an Afghanistan or Enduring Freedom veteran. So this represents a fairly serious issue. So can I leave you my name and number, and can I trust that someone will get back to me on this issue?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you heard the gentleman raising not only that sign, which said he was a veteran of Operation Enduring Freedom, but also Walz's own campaign announcement, in which he called himself a veteran of Operation Enduring Freedom. Okay, all right, so he said it himself. He held a sign that said it, and he said it himself in his campaign announcement. He's a veteran of Operation Enduring Freedom. Flash forward to 2008, and Walz also endorsed a book. That book was titled Winning Your Election the Wellstone Way. The book had a section on Tim Walz, falsely describing Walz as a National Guardsman who served in Afghanistan. Now, he pushed this book, he endorsed this book. Are we supposed to believe he didn't look at the one piece of the book that was about him and say, hey, I did not serve in Afghanistan? Out of respect for the men who did, that needs to be changed. And then there are Walz's own false statements about how he is allegedly, now don't play this soundbite yet, allegedly a retired command sergeant major. I'm going to play the soundbite, but just keep in mind when you hear this, it is the word retired that makes this title false. And once again, titles and words in the military matter.
I'm a retired command sergeant major. I spent 24 years in the Army National Guard.
So when you first came to Washington, you were a retired command sergeant major in the Army National Guard, so you were drawn immediately to...
As a 24-year veteran of the National Guard and the Red Bull Division and a retired command sergeant major.
He's not. He's not. According to the Minnesota National Guard, Mr. Walz did not complete the necessary work to achieve that title in retirement. He did not earn it. He held that title provisionally for a short time, but did not do the 2-year training to actually earn it. He quit, and he retired at a lower rank. This has all been confirmed by many, including the officials, and it's on the Stolen Valor X account as well. J.D. Vance, himself an Iraq War veteran, has hit Tim Walz hard on this issue. Yesterday, reporters tried to get Walz's response to the flurry of reporting that is coming out now about his misrepresentations regarding his record. He either did not hear them or refused to answer. Watch.
Governor, Vance accused you of stolen valor. Your response. Governor, Vance accused you of stolen valor. Your response.
And it's not just all of that. Just this week, the Harris Walz campaign tweeted out a video of Tim Walz in 2018. He was bragging about his record on guns. And once again, he misstated the facts. Take a listen to him in 2018, I think it is, SOT 6.
Hope woke up like many of you did 5 weeks ago and said, Dad, you're the only person I know who's in elected office. You need to stop what's happening with this. I'll take my kick in the butt for the NRA. I spent 25 years in the Army and I hunt. And I gave the money back, and I'll tell you what I have been doing. I've been voting for common sense legislation that protects the Second Amendment, but we can do background checks. We can do CDC research. We can make sure we don't have reciprocal carry among states, and we can make sure that those weapons of war that I carried in war is the only place where those weapons are at.
Except he did not carry weapons in war. He went to Italy in support of the war that was being fought by our guys in Afghanistan. And when it was time for him to carry a weapon and go to Iraq, he quit. Those are the facts. Do you owe back taxes? Pandemic relief is now over. Along with hiring thousands of new agents and field officers, the IRS.
So all you people got so much to say. What you got to say now? So this will allow you to understand. You can be in support of something, which he was in support of. OEF was in Afghanistan. He was in Italy. He was not wearing no full battle rattle. He wasn't walking around with no weapon. I guarantee you, they was leisurely doing what they want. They probably got to go downtown, got to eat out, where you have guys over there busting their ass, being shot at, being mortared, actually serving in fucking combat. And that's what pisses me off about people like him and people like some of you damn civilians who hate to, for some reason, you come to his defense like he's some damn war hero when he's a damn coward that lied. He caused him dropping, so-called not knowing, but apparently we found out was a lie, put another command sergeant major who had to come take his spot. 2003, I was a staff sergeant. I tore my damn pec. Had a partial tear. They wanted to make me non-deployable. I had the option to not go. But being who I am, I trained my guys up. I trained with them at going to NTC multiple times, making sure they was proficient in their jobs, knowing what they was doing. What did it look like? Oh, all of a sudden, staff sergeant, hey guys, I'm hurt. I can't go. No, you know what I did? I said, give me some ace bandages, give me some motion, give me whatever for pain, give me some muscle relaxers. I'm good to go. They's like, hey, Sarge, you sure? Yes, I'm sure. If my guy's going, I'm going with them. Because what y'all don't fucking understand is when you have parents who show up crying, you're the leader of those guys, and they're worried about their child going over there dying. And you guys sit there and look them in the face and tell them, hey, ma'am, don't worry about it. Because the men are always going to be the strong ones. They're the ones holding their wives, telling them, hey, he's going to be good. She's going to be good. But as the leader for those, you the NCRC for that those sections, you're telling them, hey, ma'am, he's coming back. I guarantee you I'm going to bring him back. I went to Iraq in 2003. Came back into 2003. Went right back in 2005. Came back in 2006. Went to Afghanistan in 2007. Went to Afghanistan again in 2019 to 2020. And I just retired in 2023. So all you out there that's trying to give him all these kudos like he did something because, oh, he came in once a week, every month. He trained, he actually did some hardcore training for 1 to 2 weeks, once every summer. This is what pisses off a lot of us veterans off. And y'all would never get it. For those of you civilians out there that do support us, we appreciate it. I actually do appreciate it. But for you fucking ones out there who think you know so much, and you try, and then some of you get in my chat, in my comments, and you try to come at me like I never served. I just showed you my DD 214. I had my shadow box up there. I could easily get to show you every damn rank that I held. And it's broken down from when I was enlisted to when I was an officer. But that's all I got. I want to see y'all come to his defense now. What you say? Oh, you got him now. You got him now. Man, don't nobody, I don't want to hear that. Because you know what? This is all I got to say. You fucking failed. You're a loser. You failed. So that's all I got. Hey, hit the subscribe button. Hey, like I say, but my name ain't Mr. Controversy for nothing because I'll talk about anything. This, like I tell people, if there's something you want me to talk about, you can email it to me. My email is right there on my channel. You can go in there, email it to me. I'll research it, look it up, and do it. My next thing I want to do is Project 2025 because there's a bunch of idiots that don't read. You listen to these stupid, you listen to Kamala Harris, who still has not put nothing up on her page of any type of policy, anything that she's running on. You listen to people like Taraji P. Henson, who I know for a fact she didn't read it. Because if you did, you already know Project 2025 has been happening for the past couple of years. It's been happening since 2018 when I was in, because it addressed everything, even addressed the military. It addressed recruiting. And the same company that wrote that Project 2025 also wrote a document and gave it to, in 1980, gave it to President Reagan. So whatever president, whoever gets elected, whether it's Kamala Harris or President Trump, whoever gets in that White House, they're getting this document. And it covers a multitude of things that they can use. And it is recommendation. It has like recommended reforms. And it has everything from medical, military, education. And when you read it, you can be like, holy shit. A lot of this stuff actually has been going on already. Because I already started reading it. I'm up to like page 400 and something. And this weekend, I plan on finish reading out the whole thing. Because it's something I want to talk about. And I want to pull key things out and show people of, hey, this has actually been happening. Stop believing these people and start doing stuff on your own. Do some actual, when I say research, I mean research hard facts, not Wikipedia, because Wikipedia is a constant thing that can be updated by anybody. That's why if you have a college degree and you actually did research papers, especially if you have a master's or a PhD and you did your thesis and all this other stuff and you had to cite your resources, the thing they'll tell you, put Wikipedia on there as a source of reference if you want to. Your ass gonna fail. Because there's information that can be updated. Just like Kamala Harris, her little bio, it never said she was a Black American. It always said Indian American. But once she automatically, they select her as the nominee, they start scrubbing all her shit, start pulling stuff down. But you can't edit video because videos are always there. And that's how everybody's been getting her. Everything she was being us. Oh, so you're the first Indian American congressman or senator or aide or DA. Yes, I sure am. And then she even spoke whatever language they spoke, little bits of words. But she's never once said she was a Black American. She always said she was Indian American. I have no problem with her saying she's Indian American because if you research her daddy, he's also part Irish, who's essence own slaves. So just because you were born in Jamaica does not make you Black American. That's like saying both my parents are Black. I'm born in China, so does that make me a Chinese American? Does that make me, or would that make me Chinese? Or would I still be considered Black? Because my parents are, both of them. But hey, that's all I got. Tell me what you think. Give me your comments. As you all see, I will go back and forth with you. I am not the one that's deleting comments. I already sent YouTube a thing because there was a long thread. It was me and some guy named called Hitman. I don't know why he called himself Hitman because he fucking never served in the military. That probably never shot at anybody. But probably sitting in his basement playing fucking video games. So hence Hitman. But me and him, we was going back and forth. And somehow he made a comment. So there's a thing where I can go through and read and approve because depending on the type of language you use, YouTube is going to pull it. They're not going to let it, they're not going to publish it. I didn't know until he just said, oh, so you something about the First Amendment, and it showed up, and I was like, okay, let me go look in here. I look, yeah, and I see it, and I hit it's a check mark where it approves it, and it should have transferred over. So when it did, I hit it, it disappeared. Okay, I'm thinking whether it's, so I went so I can address those comments, and it was fucking gone. But my count is showing all these comments, but they're visible. So yes, I did contact YouTube to say, hey, why is this is what happened? Where are my comments? Why are they not there? Because if you go look at any of my stuff, and you can see going back with forth with people, I don't delete people's comments. Now, if you get fucking out of hand and I do have a line that I will not let nobody fucking cross because I don't disrespect people in that way. I may call you a mouth breather. Might call you an oxygen thief. But that's it. I don't call you no racist. I don't go down that road. Because when I think people do that, their intelligence is very minimal. So if you come at me that way, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just yes, I will disapprove it, and then it's going to delete. It's not me deleting. It's just me just saying disapprove. And if you get too out of hand, even if I see you coming at other people that's commenting that way, because I had somebody calling somebody some stuff out of name, and it was a black person. They was talking to a white person, and I was like, nah, chief, we ain't doing that here. And I blocked him so he couldn't comment anymore, period, on none of my content. So, hey, y'all enjoy your night. Actually educate yourself. Read. Open a book. Go and stop thinking Google gonna give you everything. But, hey, y'all have a good night. I'm out of here.